Now this is a design. On the right hand side you can see the ground floor plan. On the left hand side you can see the first floor plan. And this is a typical example which I generally take because this is the plan of a high-end villa. That means in a weekend where the whole family goes in the countryside. In India there is nothing known as countryside though, but somewhere away from the town where they can stay for 2 days with their complete family. It is not like hum do hamare do, but a complete family, 3 or 4 generations together. They go over there, they carry their necessary things. They sometimes take a what is that vehicle called which Shah Rukh Khan used in Swadesh movie? Okay, I can't recall.
RV, sir, RV.
Okay, so those are carried out. So they travel over there. It has lots of good views. It is like individual buildings are segregated from its neighboring building, but particularly in a site they are all of stereotype. That means typical or prototype of design. That means the design remains the same of individual building, but individual building in itself is a standalone building. That means it can survive without the presence of the other buildings. And what I have done also is sometimes it happens that one family is staying together, but maybe it was a joint family and then two families comes up, or it's a joint family. So the so suppose you have gone and your parents are there, your grandparents are there, as well as your uncles, aunties, they have also gone. So in that particular case, what can happen is, please concentrate. Can everyone see my cursor moving, a hand on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No,
People, those
sir.
who are using it from the mobile, Ramu and Vikas, can you unmute and say whether you can see my cursor moving?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes, sir, I can see.
Okay, thank you so much. So this one is the ground floor of one villa, and this one is the ground floor of another villa. They are almost mirror of each other. Almost, I say, because in design you cannot distinguish between them. This is a design. This is what you do. When you do a architectural design, this is what you do. And then working drawing is such a subject where it is detailed in such a delicate level of detailing that even a layman who doesn't have any idea of construction but knows how to read a design can read your design and supervise the construction. That's the beauty of working drawing. So generally what you do is, even if I can zoom in a little bit, say in this corner I zoom, let me show you. So this is the main entrance. You climb up, you have a small foyer, a waiting foyer, and then you enter into a particular place, which is a dining come and access to the kitchen. So it is a living room. At the behind you have the drawing room, because here you will generally not have guests, but your relatives will only come up, or maybe your neighbor will come up. So you don't need a immediate drawing room after the entrance like a conventional residence. So let me first explain you the design. Observe clearly. You enter from here, you have a dining room. This dotted line, do you know what it means? It is not a dotted, it is a dash gap, dash gap. Individual line types needs to be understood. Anyone can unmute and come on board or type in your chat box. What does this dash gap or this dash gap line means?
I
It
think
is
you
double
have
story.
Double-headed.
just
So
the
double
slabs
It's a
and
double-headed space. Double-headed space.
Double heighted space. Double heighted
Yes, sir.
space. Okay. Whether it is double heighted or not will come in the description. It means that above it there is no slab. Whether it is double heighted, triple heighted, atrium, it is not clear. Nobody knows. Okay. But just above this floor there is no slab. So did you find the difference in between these two? Some of you say it is double heighted, and I said that above this floor there is no floor slab in that part only. So can you identify the difference between these two? The terminologies. You have to, now we are talking in professional language, executable languages. Is it clear? Satyam, you spoke.
Yes, sir.
Did you find the difference actually? That what you said might have meant something else also.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So again, let me go back to the same thing. That means this part, not the whole, but this part doesn't have a slab above, but there is a beam above here. And this line segregates that cutout on the upper floor from the slab in the upper floor. So these are demarcation that anything which comes in dash gap represents something which is above the floor which we are discussing. Now why I have taken this particular cutout is because see this place doesn't have any external lighting facility. So we try to bring in light from above. Now from where I will take the light, you will not understand in this particular drawing only, because I don't know this cutout leads to how many floors. So let's again come back to the design. From here we enter into the kitchen, the host, or else there is a service entry for a servant's room. Because suppose this is a weekend villa, there are multiple ones. So whenever there are people going over there, it may be weekend, it may be an extended weekend, it may be a vacation destination. So they will bring in some servants who will definitely not be sharing the bedrooms or the master bedrooms. So they have a separate entry. They have their own bathroom. This is the utility, so which is accessible from the kitchen as well as from the entry porch of the servant's room. And you also have a store. So store is confined, it doesn't need the opening. Utility might have a opening, but okay, please pardon me the hatching pattern, this purple color hatching pattern, but this has been done particularly so that you can clearly distinguish between things. Okay, now let's see what is at the back side. I'm not going to first floor right now. In the ground floor, just connected with the dining space, you have the drawing room, which opens into a veranda. Again, you see you have a dash gap line, and we have a typical kind of door. Now, these special kind of doors and windows were not explained in your previous building construction, which I could not cover. So let me explain you what it means. Let me first zoom into this. This is a glazing, fixed glazing, supported by a frame on either side, and this frame also supports another glazing. Now whether it is fixed or openable may not be clear in the plan, so we will have detailing for this separately. But you saw there, see there are two panels also. These two panel means, and whenever you have a beam on top, this dash gap means there is a beam on top. There may be wall below, there may not be wall here, but there is a beam on top. So this is the space, this white space in front, where this door, when it slides open, there should be rail over here. Okay. So generally we can show the doors in a closed posture or else in a open posture, or a combination of both if there is a double panel door. That means the door has two panels at least. So here we have a door and here we have a window on either side, and we enter into a veranda which is again, which has a cutout on top. Sorry. And directly from the junction of this dining room and the drawing room, you can enter a foyer from where you have a bedroom in the ground floor, which also has a attached bathroom. And you have a bathroom for the guests here, a bathroom for the servant here, and a service duct in between. So here you can either you don't need any outlet pipes in the external walls. So from the external wall, here I haven't shown the clear windows. Here I have maintained all the walls, concrete like solid walls made out of bricks of a particular dimension of 200 by 200 by 400. That's the dimension that was taken in this particular design. Now see how would you do the nomenclature. I have written the name of the room, and if there are multiple rooms, we can keep on adding 1, 2, 3, 4 in that way. And below that we write the dimension, which is 1700 by 1200, or in the dining room we have written 2500 by 4060. This means that 2.5 meter or 2500 millimeter is the horizontal dimension, which is the maximum dimension if it is not a rectangular space. Okay, and 4060 is the vertical dimension from this point till here. This whole thing is 4060. So I have taken up a convention which is below the name of the room there will be the maximum x horizontal dimension cross maximum vertical dimension. All of you can take a small paper or an exercise book and note these particular things because these are to be followed universally throughout everywhere. Okay. Just keep on noting certain things which are. Let me sure where is it gone. Yes. First comes the horizontal dimension, which is the maximum possible available in this particular space. Maximum one. There may be a shorter from here to here might be a shorter, but I have taken the longest point, whichever is the longest dimension, as well as whichever is the longest dimension here vertically. So horizontal cross vertical is the convention. Then in every place, every room, we generally write a level. And now this level is written only after you have a datum level. So outside in a site plan where you have level plus minus 0.0, with respect to that, all the individual levels will come up. So this is plus 450. Now to explain better, I have deleted lots of dimensions and lots of labelings, which I will show you in the AutoCAD file. Here you see there is a door of the bedroom. Sorry. It's very difficult to control from my end. I am showing you two doors. All of you can see this. Two doors are there. One is the door for the bedroom. Another is the door to access the bathroom from the bedroom, the attached bathroom. Now this dash gap lines means there is a beam above. It may be a lintel. It may be the beam with the slab. But in this particular point, there is no farm line. Neither is here. But you have a farm line, pink color farm line here. Have you noticed it? Some of you who have noticed, please come on board, unmuting and say whether you have noticed.
Yes, sir.
You have
Yes,
a
sir.
farm line here and you don't have a farm line here.
Yes, sir.
What it might mean?
So there is a sunk slab.
There's a change in level. There's a
Yes.
change in level.
Whoever is seeing that there is a sunken slab, what is mean by sunken?
So it's at a level lower than the general floor level.
Okay.
Because it's a bathroom.
Okay. So it's a bathroom. Now sunken means it is with respect to a particular floor, it is in a lower level. But see, it is a ground floor, and you have suppose you have to fit a Indian pan, not the Western one, an Indian pan. That means the outlet of the Indian pan will be under the ground, right?
Yes.
I guess this is Muskan because I can't see the MS Teams window. I'm only seeing the PDF. Okay, so it doesn't always necessarily means it is sunken. What you might have to do is you have to raise the ground floor slab a bit to accommodate the Indian soil pan. That might also happen.
So that
Yeah,
means
whoever said sunken slab, please stay unmuted for a while we are on the conversation.
so does that mean that the entire ground floor is at a higher level than the bathroom?
No, I will come slowly. Say the entire floors was on plus 450, 1.5 feet above the ground level. Hence, we had 3 staircases of plus 150. Okay, in the entrances.
Yes.
See, 1, 2, 3. So you reach plus 450. But what happens here? This line means there is a level difference or a level change. It can be up, it can be down. So conventionally, we should have written either with an arrow, whether it is up or down, something like this. We put an arrow with the arrowhead and write up. That means from this level towards the direction of the arrow, you are going up. Or we have another solution. We can write a level here. This is plus 450, and we can write here plus 425. Below the bathroom, bathroom 1, below that we write 1700 cross 2300, below that we write plus 425. So that means nobody has to go and actually measure how much drop was there, or how much sunken was there, or how much floor it was raised, the bathroom floor was raised. Okay, there is one more indication that this bathroom is actually in a lower level than the bedroom and not in a higher level than the bedroom. I guess Debashish said that there is a level difference or level change.
Yes, sir.
So please stay on board and tell me that how can we, there a level change means there is a difference in the floor levels.
Yes,
But
sir.
whether it is up or down, I have written nothing. Neither I have
Yes, sir.
mentioned the floor level. Still, I will understand that the bathroom is in a lower level than the bedroom level. How? From this
So,
drawing only it is understood. If you can explain it to your friends, if you know, or if you don't know, just tell me, I will explain it.
So, it is generally lower than the bedroom level because to stop the water from getting into the bedroom.
Okay,
In general sense.
that's your design consideration. But you have given this to a person who is not a architect, not a planner, not a designer. He is a layman who can put the bricks, who can do the shuttering, and who can do the casting of the floor slab. So now,
So,
if I say the bathroom is at a higher level than the bedroom, would you be able to open the door in the within the bathroom?
no.
It will hit the floor.
Yes, sir.
So you can understand that the opening condition of the door, if the doors are shown in an open condition, it also explains that there is a change of level, just a change of level. By how much quantum, we will come to that when we start giving the detail. But by drawing itself, when you do a design, this is the design, this is the architectural design. That means you are done with your 4th semester design. When you submit the design, this is how it looks like. The name of the rooms are written, the materials are written, certain dimensions are given, certain fixtures and furnitures are given. Furnitures are generally known as fixtures, and there is something known as fittings, which I have switched off. I will show you in the drawing. So is this understood by few of you at least, who can come up and say that these lines, in every individual lines has a lot of meaning in itself. So every line that you draft should be carefully drafted. I will zoom in a bit and show you the detailing of it. There is a plaster thickness also in this particular drawing. We have a door frame. So if there are multiple lines overlapping, it would be very difficult later to do the 3D drafting of it. For example, say here I have a drafting mistake. Two walls are matching with each other. But what we have is, we have a short heighted projected wall to accommodate the cisterns, the water cisterns flushed within the wall. So that is internal fittings detail. I will not get into that. Let's see what, zoom out and see. Now from the bedroom, see, from the drawing room you have a veranda which directly opens outside. So you can directly go out or somebody can come in. And there should be a level written plus 450 below each and every room level, which has to be added, which I have removed for the time being to make the drawing clearly understood. So below each and every room's dimensions, there should be a level mentioned, plus or minus, whatever. Now from the bedroom, if I have something which is similar to this veranda, then people from outside will enter the bedroom directly. So to avoid that, I have given something else. There is a line here and there is a beam above. And this is not having a cutout above. Okay. So that's, and this one is the reverse. Not the reverse, I will say the mirror one for the time being. This plan, this part, the left hand side is almost similar to the mirror. Now what I have done is, to make the drawing clear, I have done the labelings and the annotation in the right hand side villa, and I have shown certain furnitures in the left hand side villa. Furnitures are generally done with a very light line type, and when I make a PDF, it loses its quality, so almost nothing is visible. But please make sure whenever you are doing the furniture and the fittings or the fixtures, they are done at least in a line weight which is lighter but visible, say 0.05 or 0.03. In some place, to make people understand that there is enough space in between these furnitures and all, we put human beings like this. Now conventionally, each and every room should be given 1 or 2 human beings, the necessary furnitures. Now why, can you tell me why do I need, suppose there is a bedroom 1, so this room will also be a bedroom 1 in the ground floor. Now why I have placed the furniture as well as human being? Okay, mind it that the writing, the bedroom, the dimensions of the bedrooms and the level should also have been here, as well as the furnitures of the bedrooms should also have been here for the perfect working drawing. So can you tell me that why I have shown this bed over here, or a cupboard over here, or a cabinet over here, or a TV over here, and a human being?
How the movement is going around in that room.
The
How a
movement
person
is
moves.
going on. Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's one reason. Any other?
Sir, anthropometry, it's like the spaces they need to.
Okay. So the furnitures that you are going to take with respect to the human figure, the human scale, is also dictated. Fine. But you know, you can design for a 72-inch LED TV, but there can be a 30-inch or even a 20-inch LED TV also. Right. So we don't design the furniture, but we give the provision for that. That's one thing, fine. But you know, after you get it done, you can buy a bed and you rotate it and place it also. I will take you again to the PDF and then make you understand that. I get this bed, I put the bed with the head towards the window so that some light from the north comes in. Okay. And still you will have that passage, even you will have more passage because this bed is 7 by 5 guess. So now if you have 2 feet, you will have 3 feet or 3.5 feet over there. But why is the bed kept in this particular location or orientation? Or you see the sofas are laid in a particular orientation. I have zoomed in. Any random ideas? Anything else? I guess all of you are sitting in your houses, okay? And you are watching a laptop or a mobile or maybe a desktop. So if I ask you that, okay, today it is very hot and humid over here, the sun is bright, so why don't you go in the balcony or veranda, sit over there and conduct and continue on the class? Why will you say no, you won't do? Can anyone come up? Yes, Surya?
Because of the sunlight.
Sunlight, will it be helpful or will it be bad?
Sir, bad. It won't be
Bad.
comfortable.
It won't be comfortable. Anything else which will make you more uncomfortable? Presence of something, absence of something?
Sir, if we sit in our house or room, it will be less noisy. It will be just, if we go, there will be noise from surrounds.
Okay, fine. So, Surya, can you look at your ceiling and tell me what is there in your ceiling?
Yes, fan.
Just above your head?
Yes, sir, fan.
Okay. So, if I tell you that you sit in the balcony, you also won't be probably comfortable because you will not have that fan above you.
Yes,
but tell me something. In the same room, if you are sitting in a different location, can you shift the fan over there for your comfort?
No, sir.
But you can shift the furnitures, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So the indication of this furniture location is to explain during casting of this slab only tentatively where the location of the fan should be. Now somebody who is sleeping in here, and by your architectural design you have put the fan by drawing two diagonals and putting the fan at the center. That means a person who is sleeping on the northern side will not actually get good quality air when they are sleeping. Am I correct? Do you agree?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly for drawing room, the drawing room, the sitting pattern dictates where the TV location should be and where the connection for the TV should be, or how the central tea table can be easily accessible from any other nearby places without getting interruption. So something which cannot be shifted once they are built, and those requires the location of the user or the furniture should be fixed initially before the slabs are casted or before the walls are built, because we have been to a construction site where we have seen that through the wall we have already embedded the pipes for electrical conduits. So now if we change the location of a TV, then throughout your wall there will be a lot of pipes or wires hanging, making it ugly. So the location of the furnitures are mentioned in the working drawing itself. You may not show in the design. In design we show it to convince the client, but we show something necessarily in the working drawing also. Okay. For example, say none of you have been to the construction yard where you have, in your first year, where you have tried drilling through different materials. So drilling through a brick, drilling through a concrete block, drilling through a steel reinforcement. All of you have not tried, but believe me, you can drill through a brick easily. For concrete, probably you will require some specialist people who are expert in kabaddi or wrestling, and you cannot drill through a steel reinforcement, because whatever the drilling pressure gives, it gets transmitted throughout the body. It is, and you know, steels are expert in tension, so it will not crack, it will not break. So once you are done, suppose I have to drill on this particular concrete column here in the center, I won't be able to drill later and put up a switchboard. So I have to place it. See the location. I have just placed the TV cabinet along the wall. Here also in the bedroom, I have placed the TV cabinet along the wall. That's where comes the design. You should not be arbitrarily placing everything. So you design anthropometrically. So I agree with Somoji that you design anthropometrically, but keeping in mind that if you are using the room, each and every place should be usable. Now with this bed, whether 2 people or 3 people are sitting doesn't matter, but we put 2 bedside tables. Now these bedside tables may be built, may not be built, but this makes sure that you at least have 300 mm gap, at least 300 mm gap in front of the door to access the doors and the windows, as well as to clean, mopping या sweeping करने में you will have the space. In your hostels, in NIT, when you have a single bed, if the beds are aligned along with the wall, tell me frankly, how many of you actually clean the lower part of the bed, the floor below the bed? I guess somebody who is very skeptical about cleaning, remaining very neat and clean, or keeping your drawing sheet very clean, they only will explore below the bed to clean it. Other than that, nobody. I'm confident because I have stayed in hostel of NIT Rourkela for 1.5 years. I'm sure you all are. Same. Okay, some people are laughing. Anyways, so let's come back to again the first floor. See, whenever we write up or down, we write that up or down with respect to that particular floor. So if you have a basement, so you come to the ground floor plan, we are explaining the ground floor plan. So this up means from this ground floor we are going up, and if there is a down arrow, say from here down arrow, it means from the ground floor we are going down and nothing else. It doesn't mean anything else, but there is a provision to go down. It doesn't explain the height of the riser, doesn't explain the height of the depth of the trade and all. But let's first come to the first floor plan. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, can everyone see the first floor plan here on the left hand side? A few confirmation maybe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So we come in here. From the ground floor we climb up here and we come in here. So this level is, let me zoom once, plus 3450. So what is the floor to floor height?
So 3 meters.
3 meters.
3 meters.
3 meters, sir.
Okay, fine. But 3 meters. But preferably you should be saying it is 3000 mm, because you have to maintain the same unit nomenclature throughout your drawing. If there is anything extra, anything different from the conventional, that has to be mentioned separately. Okay. So this is float to floor height is 3000 millimeter. So you come in here, you have a small narrow railing here, from where on the other side it is written dining room below. So you can understand that this cross above the dining that you can see on the right side is reflected here also, because we have written dining room below. So here, since it is a cutout, there is no floor slab here. It is restricted by these firm lines, which might be railings or balusters. But then again, I see that there is a dash gap line here and dotted line here. What does it mean? In this particular first floor, a part is with dash gap line and a part is without a dash gap line. What it means?
So there must be a beam like above
Okay.
going up.
There is a beam above, and why there are two different notations on either side. In one side you can see the dining room below, so you can see the dining tables below, and in one side you don't see anything, and but you see a dash gap, two diagonal cross lines.
Above the desk gap line, there is no slab, I think, and on the dining room, that the blank part,
Yes.
there is a slab.
Excellent. Excellent. That means there is no slab above that dash gap part, but above the place where dining room below is written, there is a slab. Okay. But again, see, in service duct, you don't have a floor slab above. Right? Again, see, within the bathroom, there is again a part showing dash gap diagonal lines. A part is having nothing like that. So all of you can unmute and laugh and say that a bathroom whose ceiling has a cutout, the roof above, so people can peep in from top. Is that so? Or is there some other indication also?
So I think it is for the service ducts.
It is for the service duct. Okay. It doesn't mean anything. It just only means there is no slab above that part only. Now a cutout, that means there is nothing. But beside that, where bathroom 3 is written, there is a slab. So a slab cannot end abruptly. It has to end in a beam. Hence a beam is provided above. So see, if it is diagonal line, it means there is nothing above. But if it is parallel line, it means there is something above. See the line with the walls. There are two dash gap parallel lines. That means there is something above. There is a beam above. Above this floor, it can be the sill level beam, it can be the lintel level beam, it can be the ceiling level beam. But when it is parallel, it means that there is something above, which is the reflection of it is shown below. And if it is a diagonal cross, it means there is nothing above. So please take a note of all these nomenclatures of lines. Generally, unknowingly we say dotted. Dotted means something else. We will come to that. If it is dotted, dot, gap, it means something else. Now again, coming to the design, I come up in here. On the northern side, we have probably the views are on that side. So we have a bedroom 2 and a bedroom 3. Bedroom 2 is just a replica of the bedroom 1, which was below, with an attached bathroom. The bathroom leads into a service duct. We have a small window or a ventilator. We cannot segregate right now from here. But we have a bathroom. The dimensions are written below. Definitely there will be the level written below. And we also have another bedroom 3. Now there is again a dash gap cut line. That means it should be written as veranda below, and it is written as veranda. That means from this bedroom we have an access to a balcony or a veranda. Okay. If it was hanging, we would call it a balcony. If it is not hanging, it is supported by walls below, just like there are walls below in the ground floor plan. This is a veranda. You can also call it balcony. There is not too much clear distinction between these terminologies, but you have to write those. And this bedroom directly opens up, because having a veranda on the outskirts means this on the ground floor there would be a slab above. But since there is no slab above this ground floor level, so here you don't have an access. There is no slab casted. So this bedroom is a bit smaller. It is introvert, and we have an attached bathroom. But this shows that there is a cutout above. There is no floor above. Whether it is for servicing, service duct, or whether it is for allowing light, or whether it is for peeping from the top, we will see it in some other drawing, but at least not, because the person who is building these walls or casting this slab doesn't need to know what this duct is for. It's meant for something else, some other contractor, some other specialist. Now from the same hanging slab, if you come to the southern side, we have this huge master bedroom, which is above the kitchen and the utility and storage. We have this master bedroom. We have a good box window or a cabinet window, where you have in the seal level you have a slab. You can sit out by opening the windows. Okay, and there is no level change.
So,
And in the yes, please.
so from bedroom 3, we can't access to the veranda.
No.
Okay.
If there was a veranda, that means there is a floor slab in this particular level. If there is a floor slab in this particular level, in ground floor, we will not have this dash gap lines.
Okay, sir.
This dash gap means there is no slab above. So if there is no slab above, that means the upper floor will not have a floor slab.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Again, coming back to this part, first floor. From this place, we come to the master bedroom. The master bedroom has a good windows outside, a dressing room here, or a powder room, sometimes known, like, don't be afraid with these terminologies. In the northern India, these rooms are generally known as powder rooms, and in central or southern or eastern India, we call it a dressing room. So through this dressing room, we enter into the bathroom. See the bathroom size of this bathroom and the bathroom size of this servant's room. 1700 by 2750, 1700 by 2400. So there should be a question that, sir, why is this length of a bathroom shorter? That this is a master bedroom and you have a bathroom with that, but its area is shorter than a servant's room. Can you come up with any rough idea, any idea? My intention is to clarify your design concept. So can anybody say that why is the dimension of a master bedroom's bathroom is smaller than a servant's bathroom? Again, I will show you. You have a servant's bathroom here. Sorry. This is a servant's room cum servant's bathroom. So servant's room and bathroom, this bathroom is an open type. There will never be a Western system. It will be a Indian with a shower overlapping. So almost you have to stand on the Indian system to stand and work. But see, this bathroom also has a dressing room. So this accommodates in the Indian system of the servant's room. We use the bathroom itself for the dressing room most of the time, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so it is compressed. But see the servant's room and the bathroom in here, they are different. So better to put a furniture. Now I show you the servant's room. What do they need? They need a cabinet. Okay, there is some mistake. The cabinet is coming in front of the door. Please pardon me. And there is a single bed in the servant's room. Once we go in here, see what we have. We have a dressing cubicles. We have a bathroom. Might be confused with this wall. These walls are generally up to 4 feet or 5 feet in height. You have been to some good hotels and all where you have seen that the water cistern for the flushing is embedded within the wall. You just have two buttons, one for short flush, one for longer flush on the wall. So to accommodate that, we have this. This is a villa at the end of the day. Okay. And then now you have how many? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and a master bedroom. So we have actually 4 bedrooms. So for a big family, for a joint family, this 4 bedrooms should be good enough. Each and every pair can live together. So the master bedroom, the parents stay, the kids are staying nearby, or the cousins are staying nearby. The grandparents, if they cannot climb the stairs, they stay in the ground floor in the bedroom 1. So everything is provided, and it is a good design for a villa. Do you agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Others, how do you like the design?
Yes, sir.
Is the design okay?
So kinda good. Like in
And
most of the Hollywood movies, there are there.
so if I give another 1 month time, so every week you can develop on that and you can make it even more good, or you can make it better. If the more time you can invest, you can keep on improving. Like there will be a time when the structural pattern will remain the same and you will alter the orientation of the furnitures and all, and still it will keep on improving and improving and improving. Okay. Okay. But I give you this drawing and I give you a site. I give you the ground floor plan and I give you the first floor plan and I give you a plot, a size, and you are a supervisor. Can you immediately start constructing? For example, say I tell you it is a column structure. So you have columns, you have beams, you have slabs, and in between you have walls with punctures to accommodate the doors and windows. So where on this site will you put each and every pillar? Because you have a blank plot and you have to place the pillars at a particular location. So how do you start working on that? Can anyone say? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So
so I
Yes,
need to.
sir.
Repeat the question again.
I will repeat the question. I am giving you a blank plot without any wall boundary or plot line, but okay, there are four corners of the plot which is marked. For example, say some of you have been to the Naga Pond, and behind the Naga Pond there are, oh, forget about Naga Pond. You stay in certain hostels in NIT, and each of the building in each of the hostel has a side boundary. Individual buildings of your hostel has multiple columns. Now when there was a empty ground and I ask you that, okay, you have to build your hostel in the Sachin Tendulkar cricket ground. So where will you put the columns, demarcate the columns? Where will we go for excavation? How to decide where the columns should be? The first thing is to dig the trench for constructing the foundation. So where should be the marking of the foundation? How do we decide on that? Is the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can you say how to find the location of the columns? Because columns leads to foundation. Bhavani, if you can say, you are unmuted.
I think from the design itself, we can find the location of the column, and from the center to center distance, we can find where to dig the trench.
Okay, then so model. Just give me some time. Let me open a design and ask you. Yes. Okay. Now I give you a site in the junction of a road, a huge site. It is almost half of your Unity campus, and I ask you to place your building in here. So Bhavani, can you say that where all the columns should be placed? Just your design. You just have the design of villa and you have to put it in here. So can you tell me how do you decide where this has to be placed?
According to the building location.
Now tell me, this is a ground floor plan and this is a site plan. I guess all of you can see both the screen. Can everyone see both the screen? Or else again I will change it. I will upload my desktop.
Yes,
I've
sir.
shared
Now
my
it is
desktop.
visible.
Now it is visible.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's not visible, Ramu?
Visible.
It is visible. Thank you. So on the right hand side, I have a ground floor plan. On the left hand side, I have a site plan. So tell me that you have given me the design after your design studios are over, and I have the site for it. I have to start constructing. So first, what are the things that I will need?
First, we need to put the foundation.
The foundation. So where should, how does the foundation start? Because ground is leveled. We have to go inside, we have to dig. So which places should we dig the whole site out? Or
No,
should we dig only below the foundations?
only below the foundation.
So where to locate this foundation? For example, say I have this column, a small column where I am moving the mouse. This I have to place in the site. How do I place it in such a huge site? So for that, let you know, for that, something which is missing in the ground floor plan is you have to mention in which scale you are giving this particular plan to. Because this ground floor plan may be in 1:100 scale and the site plan may be in 1:500 or 1:1000 scale. So first you have to clarify the scale. So wherever I have written ground floor plan or first floor plan, below that always when you give the labeling of each drawing, below that you give a scale also. Okay. Now this scale are all generally architectural scale. And why do we write below each and every labeling the scale? Because when you are giving the ground floor plan for construction, you may not give the first floor plan. It is not compulsory to give all the drawings together. Maybe the first floor plan has not been completely designed yet, but you have to start working with the ground floor plan because the foundation has to be built first. So each and every drawing should be complete in itself. That's the requirement for making it working. That means working drawing means it is good for construction. With that drawing you can start construction. Till now there is no working drawing shown. It is all simple design. I'm trying to fit your design, architectural design, into a site. The next thing that will come up is the orientation. So below the ground floor plan, we will write the scale, say scale 1:100. That means this drawing has to be printed in such a scale that it comes out exactly in 1:100 scale printout. So in AutoCAD, we draft in 1:1 scale and then print in 1:100. Or if you are drafting in paper and all, so say a decade back, we had to draft in paper, drawing sheets or blue, ammonia paper. So we have to draft in directly in 1:100 scale. Or maybe 1:200, or in whichever scale you have a drafting, you have to mention that scale. So mentioning the scale, you write in your notebook that labeling of each drawing is there, annotation of the drawings are there, and below the label of the drawing you have to write the scale. And this scale generally comes in a bracket. So in bracket we write scale, we put a dash, we write 1:200. We just don't write 1:200. We write scale and then we write 1:200. Can you tell me why we write the word scale before that? We write scale because if you don't write scale, it might mean something else. What it might mean? You have learned this. In your building construction 3, first chapter you have learned this.
Ratio of something.
Yes, if you don't write the scale, it will mean anything else, ratio of any two other things other than scale. So scale is also a ratio. It is the ratio of the proportion of the drawing to the actual site level drawing at the site level scale. So it is also a ratio, but it is not the ratio of say cement is to sand or fine aggregate is to coarse.
सर कोरले
अशांत येतं.
इन्फॉर्म करना है नेटवर्क पड़ेगा.
I'm sorry that we have a power off in NIT. So if you can see me.
Yes sir.
Can everyone see me? I'm
Yes.
using my
Yes,
mobile.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
I have to wait for the power to revive, and that would be a problem all throughout. Okay. So let me keep on discussing. Yeah. So first of all, we have to arrange the floor plan with the site. For that, either we can put two different scales for. Please raise your hand and speak out if I am not audible or there is any other further problem. Because there will be internet problem also in a short while, connectivity problem. So we have to first fit. So either there should be two different scales, 1:100 and 1:500. That means the site plan has to be increased by 5 times before you fit it in the site, before the ground floor is fittable in that. Or else there has to be the north line along with the scale, so that we orient both the plans in the same orientation and then fit. So second thing that comes up is the scale of the drawing below the name as well as a north line. So individual plans, all plans will only have all plans. That means floor plans, site plans, all plans will have, wherever there is a plan, it will have a north line. So all the drawings can be aligned. When we read the drawing, we will align it accordingly. So you have a site plan and we are giving the ground floor plan on a butter sheet in the same scale. So we can place one above the other, but the orientation has to be followed by matching the north lines. You can put all the 4 lines, north, east, west, south, or just the north line will do. Then come the next part, okay, which is to decide that how much deep we have to go. Before that, we need a particular. So Bhavani said we have to plot center to center. Now, center of what? Center of which element? Bhavani, if you can say.
The center of the column.
Center of the column. How do you decide the center of a column?
From diagonals of the column.
Okay. Okay. So it is possible that the center of a column of 200 by 400 and the center of a column of 400 by 400, though they are along the same wall, may not be collinear.
Yes. They may, yeah.
Okay, in the PDF itself, which I have forwarded, there are columns of multiple sizes. Now, if you put a diagonal through all the individual columns, the center of individual columns will not all be collinear. They will not lie on the same straight line.
Yes, sir.
Even the columns can be staggered also, if required. I have given you a regular design. All designs are not regular. So
yes,
it is not the center of the column, but it is the center of the beams. Wherever the columns are, wherever the walls are, okay, it is always the center of beam. Beams are collinear. The central line of the beam is always collinear. It is up to your design, architectural design, whether the beams will be merging with the columns or it will be protruding out or whether it will be merged inside. But at the end, the beams will have a center line which is collinear. All points through the center of the beam lies on the same line. So what we have to do is we have to find the center lines of the beams and find out that from the sight line, from the plot line, how far that center line is located. Just whatever it is 10 o'clock, I will just take a 5 minutes break. I will come to the site line. In the meantime, the power is back, so I will start the desktop. So give me just 5 minutes break. Okay. You all can be online. You can just switch off, restart your net to save the data, or you can stop recording also. Just give me 5 minutes time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.